absolutely honored today. I have followed this woman's journey for many years, and I have been fortunate enough to work with her alongside a project in my first year at the Chamber. And I've been following her journey this entire time, and watching her change and pivot and grow and try something new and change again and then pivot again and then grow and then try something new has really been remarkable. Everyone hands together, please warmly welcome Mallory Rose, Tribal Trade Podium, a smiling loud or an good job.
Hello. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. And nerve-wracking, guys. I'm used to just standing in front of my big monitor and talking, usually to hundreds of people online, but it's a lot different than this, seeing all of your faces. So bear with me as I work through the nerves a little bit of your in the flesh reactions, so I'm here to share with you all. Yeah, so just gonna shake the nerves a little bit. Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Mojo, Mallory Vision Cause for Blake. My name is Mallory Rose. Some of you might know me as Mallory Graham, but I revert back to my maiden name, Rose, which I think is a lot prettier. Yeah, so I am from Curve Lake Station. I am an additional from just up north, northwest of Hebrew, and I was born and raised, played hockey and softball all the way growing up, and I'm proud to be from here. So thank you all for having me, and I was really honored to be asked by Tiffany to join you guys this morning. And if any of you guys are professionals or in business, you know, like it's easy to get that imposter syndrome, and that's been something that I've been trying really hard to overcome in the last little while, just as there's been major changes to my business. But just to introduce myself a little bit more, you guys might know me from working at Hebrew in the corporate economic development. That was an incredible experience. I love working here, working with new business owners. So if you guys are looking for support as a small business owner, definitely check them out. But that experience was extremely rewarding for me and really made me fall in love with being a business owner in the region here. So that was really foundational for me. So you might know me from that, or you might know me as being an Indigenous cultural educator on YouTube. That's often where I'm sort of, hey, I know you from somewhere. Usually it's in Indigenous communities or young kids, like you were in my class, my teacher played your YouTube video or something like that. So yeah, you might know me from there, but if not, nice to see you all. So I actually started Tribal Trade Co as Rose's trading post fresh out of university. So I attended university and I realized that there was a lot of people out there that didn't know anything about Indigenous culture whatsoever. And there was a major gap there, just based on questions that my classmates would ask me. They wondered why my education was paid for, and why I didn't wear my power regalia to lectures and different things like that. So it made me really want to try to close that gap and use the skills that I learned in university to help me do so. So that was kind of where Tribal Trade Co came from. And over the years, as an entrepreneur, as a curious person, my interest level in new projects kind of went up and down in the waves of business, as you all know. And I tried doing different things and working as a business developer for my parents' business, bringing this importance to Curve Lake was one of the projects that I'm proud of being able to be with them. And then as well, joining the team here at the Business Advisory Center was another thing that I was able to do while still operating Tribal Trade Co. So one of the things that I really want to do every time I share with the audience is bring value of some kind. So I've put together some of my experiences that if you guys are content creators or small business owners, things that I know that can help you make a difference. Just because I want to bring value on this and happy that you came today. So some things that have worked really well for me, just kind of like keep me on track here, is creating content really quickly and not judging yourself for creating content and putting value out into the world. That's something that I've been successful at, and that's kind of why I've pivoted so much, because you really have to be responsive to your audience and realize that people are grabbing onto certain content and ignoring other content. They're trying to tell you something. So that's something that I'm really proud of, as well as leaning into my cultural identity. So looking in the mirror and understanding what makes me different, what makes me special, and really leaning into that and being proud of that has helped me to connect more with the audiences that I speak with. And also being vulnerable about the struggles that are unique to me. There's a lot of knowledge keepers and knowledge sharers and medicine women out there, medicine men that talk about their own cultural experiences. And there is no one teacher that's better than another, because everyone's experience is different from each other's. And even if you're a content creator or a business owner, sharing, leaning into who you are and the struggles that you have overcome will set you apart, and that will be your niche every single time. That will be your difference maker every single time. Another thing that I'm proud of that has worked well for me is turning rejection into resiliency and being able to look at the failures that have happened to you. And what I wrote in my notes is telling it to F off, which is honestly what I'm really proud that I've been able to do. Some of the failures and rejection and someone not wanting me anymore, or like a company not wanting to work with me anymore. It's always resulted in me wanting to stand up taller and say, no, I'm going to take this as an opportunity. Something's going to come my way, or I'm going to make something come my way that has made the journey all that much more worthwhile. So like I said, I wanted to bring some value to you guys today, some things that I know if you're wanting to grow your audience, or if you're wanting to get your message out there, if you're a business owner, or get started as a content creator, if you're not actually a business owner yet. Some things that I know you can gain value from is some of the lessons that I've learned in generating leads, growing your audience, and some tactical techniques for converting those leads into customers. And what I have learned so far with that is the difference between quizzes. Okay, this is really good tactical, guys. I'm just a huge checker, so I got to dive into the good stuff here. But the value of developing quizzes versus freebies is just incredible. And I'm just fresh off of an interview with the quizzes, and that's kind of why I'm talking about this, because they identified me as a customer that is just like beat all of their other customers in how to, in like the numbers that we've grown our email list from over 100,000 subscribers just from quizzes. So if you guys are trying to grow your audience, grow your email list, which is exactly what you need to be doing right now in like the marketing space, you have to be leaning into quizzes. And the one lesson that I have learned from this is that people are really wanting to be engaged in learning about themselves. So when you're putting together a quiz, it's a lot more interactive, right? So people are answering questions about themselves, and people love talking about themselves. And that's another thing that I learned a lot about, like lower down in the funnel. Sorry, I usually have like presentations, so just like lead here. I'm just like, this is really weird. But you guys know when you're in marketing at all or in sales, you've got your sales funnel, right? At the very top of it is lead generation, and then as you're moving down, you've got like lead nurture and then conversion. But when you are converting those new leads and trying to nurture them, work your way down the funnel, there are some different tactics that you can use, some different value that you offer them, whether it's doing a webinar or workshop. And one of the most amazing things that I have discovered that converts way better than a webinar or workshop is an experience, a community experience. So I don't know if you guys have followed at all the Resilience Week that I hosted a few months ago, but having a community engagement type of lead nurture, the conversion rates from that and the engagement rates from that were about like 700% compared to a webinar. And that's like a really, really hot trending thing to do. And that's again, the same trend as quizzes, people want to talk about themselves. So when you're involving people to network with each other and engage with each other, the power is way more than you could have from delivering a PDF or delivering a workshop, because they're creating value within each other that you could never possibly offer just yourself. So I hope some of that is kind of making sense to you guys. I know it's a little vague, just me saying you're talking about it. But if you're interested at all, like we can talk to you later if you're like a tactical marketer or wanting to grow your audience or increase your conversions or anything like that. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that because it's really, really valuable. And even if you're just like look up quizzes, if you're wanting to grow your email list, look up challenges. One of the most incredible experiences that I had back in 2020 was joining Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy. So if you guys are at all interested in like learning from the best of the best and offering like courses, which is super trendy, but Amy Porterfield is the absolute best, and doing her course like it changed my life, to be honest. And I wanted to talk to you guys about September 30th coming up, Orange Shirt Day, and the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. I know it's really important right now, and it's going to be important as we reach the end of the month. For me, it's important every single day of my life, right? And I'm hoping and I'm hopeful that it will continue to gain awareness and gain relevance for the rest of the world. I was going to talk about how the quiz that I most recently developed, because of how successful the Spirit Animal quiz that we had, like I shared, had over 100,000 new subscribers to our email list because of that quiz. I realized that with that quiz being so successful, we needed to lean in. Okay, what other quiz can we create? And one thing that I realized that when people were joining our email list from the Spirit Animal quiz, they weren't necessarily interested in smudging and interested in Indigenous culture. They were interested in, ooh, spirit animal, that sounds really cool, right? So something that we had to do, which was a lead nurture tactic, was to try to figure out which of these people are actually of Indigenous background and which of these people are potentially Indigenous allies or don't even care about being an Indigenous ally, they just want to be a spirit animal. So what we did was develop a new quiz that was called Are You a Indigenous Ally? So it asked some questions that would gauge whether they were knowledgeable about Indigenous culture or knowledgeable about what an ally meant. And then from that quiz, if they were in a certain criteria, we would send them the result and then send them to a course that I recently launched, which is becoming a certified Indigenous ally. So if you guys are at all interested in what being an Indigenous ally means, definitely go to my website and take that quiz, and you can get your results there, which tells you if you're an ally, what type of Indigenous ally you are, and what exactly you can do to become a better supporter of Indigenous people and Indigenous communities. And another thing I wanted to share with you guys is that we have a free workshop series coming up from September 26th to 30th. Which is called the Truth and Reconciliation Workshop Series. There's 5 different workshops, like sharing circle workshops, as well as other free educational resources on residential schools, how to talk to kids, how to talk to your employees, and how to talk to other professionals about residential schools, and how to talk to Indigenous people about residential schools without assaulting them. So it's a really important resource. I've spent hours and hours putting these resources together, and I'd say 80% of them are free. If you're really wanting to dive into these workshops and into these offerings, I do have a few VIP ticket options for people that are either an educator or people that are working as a professional, whether in human resources or something, wanting to really immerse yourself in Indigenous allyship. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. So yesterday we just launched a brand new YouTube video called How to Talk About Indigenous Residential Schools to Kids. But it's absolutely relevant to adults as well, especially emotionally unintelligent adults. So and that also has the free link, the link to the free PDF guide on talk about Orange Shirt Day and Truth and Reconciliation and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm not sure if we're going to practice that, but
Thank you so much. Yeah, stay right there. Nice and loud. Thank you for making space and sharing with us today. We appreciate you. Questions? Who's got a question? Cora. Comment, but I took your smudge circle. Yes, program through COVID. It's absolutely fabulous. For two reasons. One is to learn the content, but the stuff that you talk about, you see it all in action and follow the pattern moments, but you do a fabulous job. And I told this personally, but she is such a great job at walking the line and telling them how to talk to people. She gets challenged. If you follow her on her line, you know, on her social media, people go after her and she handles it so beautifully. I think we all learn from that. I really appreciate and I mean, take that course if you're interested. I wish you got all these other things.
yeah, thank you so much, Cora. I can tell you guys quickly what that course is about. So Smudge Circle is our I guess you could call it our signature course that we offer for both Indigenous allies and Indigenous people who are wanting to reconnect with their culture. So it's all about how to use just the fundamentals. It's not like crazy, like you're going on a fast or anything like that, but how to just use like the basics of smudging, the medicine wheel, the seven grandfather teachings, like the most popular traditional teachings, and how you can use those teachings, apply them to your everyday life so you can achieve the highest level of personal resiliency and just to be a happy person. Thanks.
Definitely comes through for you on your comment section. You are amazing. Really good pointing that out, Cora. Question.
Where do I find you online? Website,
TribalTradeCo.com.
tribaltradeco.com.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, kind of relating to that, so I'm sure that you encounter some people, just like controlling you maybe online a little bit or sharing traditional knowledge, and how do you respond to that?
Good question. We absolutely get a lot of negative comments, negative hate, both from people of Indigenous background, actually a lot from non-Indigenous people as well, that like they knew someone who was Indigenous from here, you know, it's very interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of hate and a lot of shame, and I guess I've worked really closely with my grandma to help me not only cope with all of the negativity and going, but also understand like where those teachings are coming from. So another thing is like this coming weekend is the Curve Lake Powwow, which is incredible. If you guys haven't been to the Curve Lake Powwow, go. It's so much fun. It's amazing, and it's open to the public this year, which is so exciting. But anyway,
You're talking to your grandmother.
yes, my grandma. So when you go to powwow, they really discourage like photos and stuff like that, like during certain dances, like during honor songs, and if you go to smudging ceremonies, a lot of the time it's like, do not take photos, like that's wrong, that's bad. And I think that that's what makes me a good teacher, is that I can't settle with like just being told like, this is why you do it, and that's it, shut up and don't ask why. So with my grandma, I've always like pressured her, she's like, oh, it's because the elders say so, and I'm like, no, like, why? Like, why can't we take photos? Why can't we record this much ceremony? Why can't we record, like, why can't we share on YouTube? Like, I don't get it. And a lot of those feelings come from fear, they come from when like the colonizers arrived, they brought technology, they brought money, so there's a lot of these negative associations to these, and even like alcohol, like, and like anything that like the European settlers brought over to North America is looked down upon for the only reason of it's not from here, it's brought over, it has to be bad. So I think that a lot of the negative comments that people share are really based on not really reflecting and asking why not share online. I know because of COVID and because a lot of the ceremonies had to be like shut down. That was a lot of my personal justification for doing it, is because is it better to not allow people to access these teachings and who can really value from and heal from these teachings? It's better to adapt and put it online than to have people not be able to access it because of old outdated traditions, right? So that's like kind of a long explanation. I will put that whole thing in the comments, but usually it's from like when people are being super negative, it's because of they're either afraid or they've experienced so much generational trauma that all they know how to do is project that on other people. And what I've actually taught like my team and how to respond to those negative comments with is to approach those people with compassion. Like they must be dealing with their traumas so badly that all they can do to cope with it is to like project it on others and to just like feel for them and be like foolish. Well,
People project, what a life experience lessons.
Right.
Did we have another question? I thought I saw the agenda. Excellent, because I have a question. What is the next exciting thing for you? I just feel like you're always on the cusp of something new. So what's coming down the pipeline?
Oh boy. What's like more? I don't know, honestly, I don't know if you guys know this, but a few months ago, in early July, I made the difficult decision of closing the retail store in Metal Trade, and it has been a roller coaster. I wasn't expecting it to be such an identity sort of crisis for me, but it affected like my ego and like just hurt and feel sad, but it really, really did. So it's been struggling, it's been hard for me to focus on the positives and focus on the weight that's been gone and what weight I can now add because of that. So that's kind of, I think there's a lot of like self-love and self-appreciation and like leaning into sharing the personal struggles that I'm going through and helping people that are also facing these challenges, especially due to COVID. Like we weren't like with travel trade closing the store, it wasn't because we didn't have like customers, we had customers, it was like the supply chain got messed up. Like our suppliers that were selling us moccasins, they had to go direct, like that was the only way. Like we were a really popular store, we were buying a lot, but all the other customers were shut down. So they couldn't stay in business. So a lot of our suppliers, like they couldn't supply us, they couldn't stay in business anymore. People were coming with tons of traffic to the website, lots of eyeballs on the YouTube channel and traffic to the blog, but we don't have anything to sell them. It's kind of tough, right? So I guess just like handling that shift and adjusting my time to the online space and developing courses and educating. I'm absolutely like I'm in love with educating and helping people understand things, whether it's Indigenous culture or whether it's learning how to be a good ally or just how to be a good business owner and be a good person. Like the possibilities are limitless, right? So who knows if we
You come out with a press release tomorrow, I'm gonna be mighty upset. Excellent, huge round of applause, thank you. We have been cheering you on, we will continue to cheer you on in your journey. Mallory, thank you, Tribal Trade Co, check it out, Instagram is, where I feel like I consume most of her content. So thank you everyone for joining us today.